What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and today I will be breaking down the Flex Offense. Many NBA teams run flex sets, which are set plays involving the flex screen the screener action, but today I will be breaking down the actual Flex Offense, and currently no NBA team or high-level Division I college team, as far as I know, run the Flex Offense as their primary offense, but Maryland and Boston College were two teams that ran it in the mid-2000s, so I watched some of their games, gathered some clips, so let's get to it. Head coach Al Skinner ran the offense at Boston College, and well-known coach Gary Williams ran it at Maryland. The alignment for the offense is 2 high, 3 low, with 2 players high around lane line extended, maybe a bit wider, 2 players who should be in the corner, and 1 player on either block. It's important to note that all of these positions are interchangeable. It's okay if a big man has the ball up top. It's a continuity offense and players change positions when it's run. You can see here how Maryland sets up this formation simply by dribbling it up. The players take their respective positions, and voila, there you have it, 2 high, 3 low. What Maryland did sometimes after a made basket or a timeout is they'd set up in a box with the point guard with the ball up top, and the point guard would choose a side to dribble to, and once he did that, the opposite wing, who's on the bottom part of the box, would come up top to receive the pass and set up the 2 high, 3 low formation. What Boston College did was even simpler. They wouldn't have a box, they'd simply set up the formation. Their most effective method to get into their formation was actually out of a baseline out of bounds play. The inbounder would just inbound it after a screen, and then he'd rub off a post player to receive the ball on top and set up the alignment. Now to the good stuff. The offense is initiated or triggered by a pass between the 2 high players. Once that pass is made, that immediately triggers a cross screen for the player in the weak side corner. Then the person who set the cross screen will immediately receive screen the screener action. This is a flex down screen to the top, but no matter if he's open for an immediate shot, the pass must be made because that is the trigger to the offense. Once that pass is made, simultaneously the next cross screen occurs on the weak side and the offense flows like that. There you have the cross screen and then the down screen, and when the green circle sets the down screen on this particular play, his man, the blue circle, steps out to stop the down screen, which leaves him open for a slip. Gary Williams was not a fan of the down screen, so he instructed his players to not set the down screen. They'd run the flex offense, but without the down screen. So here the pass is made across, which triggers the simultaneous cross screen, but instead of screen the screener action, the point guard on top would simply stay where he's at and receive the ball back to continue the flex offense. There you have the cross screen, no down screen, and they continue this and draw a foul. The player using the cross screen can go over the screen or under the screen depending on how his defender guards him. Here BC will set up their offense out of their baseline out of bounds play. And that is Jared Dudley getting open after using the cross screen, but the pass is a bit late and he gets blocked. On this play, a BC player gets a bit confused and doesn't set a formal cross screen, but Dudley can still sneak in there, establish position, and score. On this play, watch how the screener down screen works perfectly as it gets a BC player a wide open 3. Same player, but this time watch how he curls the down screen and he gets right into the middle of the lane because of it, but notice how the players on the weak side are already getting into their cross screen. This is a no-no because remember, the cross screen is initiated by a pass across. The pass across wasn't made, but they still went into their cross screen, which killed the spacing and it resulted in a turnover. Here Maryland gets into their flex, but the player on top recognizes his defender is sacking off of him, so he simply takes a jumper. Watch how the defender here will deny the path to the cross screen, so the Maryland player simply flares it out and hits a 3. This time, the player setting the cross screen will set the cross screen and then simply screen for the ball. This isn't part of the offense, but it's certainly acceptable, and here it eventually gets them decent post position. Again, the box formation we saw earlier, and here usually the guard would simply rub off the post player and receive the pass on top, but he can also curl it using his teammates as a screen, and here the Maryland guard does that and gets an in-close shot. Now let's get back to how Maryland doesn't use a down screen. So here the big man will set a cross screen, and then instead of receiving a down screen, he simply sets up for a post up, and he gets a decent look. Again, the post player will set a cross screen and then set up for a post up, and the two high guards can pass it between each other to get a good passing angle, and here this all leads to an open shot. BC used the cross screen, but here's an example of the post player setting a cross screen and then simply camping out for a good post position, and here off the post up, they get an open 3. Notice how when the Maryland player sets the cross screen here, that takes the attention off of him and he can perform a duck in, get the pass, and score. Same exact sequence once more. BC had a slight variation sometimes in their flex offense. Here instead of a down screen, it's a back screen, and they simply replace accordingly. Again, a back screen, and they don't get an open shot off of the back screen here, but they eventually get an open 3 anyway. I like the back screen as a variation or a wrinkle to catch the defense off guard. They try it here again, but notice how the weak side players are already going into their cross screen. We saw this earlier. The pass across hasn't been made. The player with the ball is currently still looking for the back screen. The weak side players need to wait for the person setting the back screen to pop back on top. Instead, they go way too early. This stalls the offense, but they still get an open shot. I mentioned earlier how NBA teams run set plays which involve the flex screen-to-screener action, and here BC runs a set play from an out-of-bounds play. There's the cross screen, the down screen, and it gets them a layup. Once more, Boston College ran this flex out-of-bounds play. Now let's talk about the corner option. Here is Maryland's box setup, and remember the point guard would dribble to his side and the opposite wing player would flash to the top and receive the pass to set up the play. But in the corner option, the strong side player who is on the bottom part of the box will flash to the corner. Here he's at the wing, but whatever. And once that pass is made, a few things are triggered. The opposite post player, the red circle, will receive a cross screen looking for a layup or a post up, and the guard will screen away for the opposite wing. Here, neither player is open for an immediate shot, so they flow right back into their flex motion and they're in it. Notice how the big man will receive a cross screen and get it and score here. So notice when the guard on top who initiated the action screens away for the wing, they form the two high alignment and they can flow back into their flex from there. The corner option is a great way to utilize a good low post player, and here that's Chris Wilcox, former NBA player, going to work on the low block. Same corner option, this time there simply is no cross screen, which I like, but either way works. Again, the corner option without a cross screen. This is very similar to the corner option, but instead of the strong side wing coming out to receive a pass, he rubs off the post player, and this frees up a passing angle for the point guard on top to enter the post. Point guard dribbles to a side, strong side player rubs off the post player gets the pass and scores. This is a common play you see many NBA teams run, and it's obviously useful if you have a good post player. Also, the wing who rubs off the post player can often be open for a pass and a layup. I just didn't see any examples of it. Here's a play out of the box set that I saw Maryland run once. It's a double ball screen similar to Horns. The point guard would choose a side to dribble to, and whatever side he would choose, the strong side wing would clear out for spacing purposes, and they would have a screen and roll. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the Flex Offense. It may be predictable, but it can tire a defense out. It is personally not my offense of choice, but I'm glad I got a chance to break it down for you guys. Hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and have a good one.